Jimmy Kimmel never presented Alec Baldwin's portrayal of Donald Trump as just another late-night comedy routine. He framed it as a reflection. The instant the audience recognized that, the sketch became about far more than a hairstyle, a distinctive voice, or exaggerated facial expressions. It became about seeing something familiar. The humor came from recognition rather than simple imitation.
Martha, this black man is attacking me. Also, speaking of black men, you know who else should be in jail? Hillary Clinton. She's committed so many crimes. She's basically a black. I've turned over all my businesses to my two sons, Beavis and Butthead. They're here today. Can we get a shot of them? Shot of them? Look at those two little American psychos. Martha, she is trying to silence these women, but they need to be respected. They need their voices heard.
What about all the women accusing you of sexual assault?
They need to shut the hell up.
Donald Trump is an old-fashioned 80s movie-style bully, taking your lunch money. And if you give it to him once, he'll take it again. Two things he loves, lunch and money, okay? He will take that peanut butter and jelly sandwich your mom cut in half like a triangle for you. He will gobble it up in front of your face, and then he'll eat your little Ziploc bag of Oreos, too.
Every day I turn on the news, and all of the newscasters are making me look so bad.
And how are we doing that?
By taking all of the things I say and all of the things I do and putting them on TV. She's the one with the bad temperament. She's always screaming, she's constantly lying, her hair is crazy, her face is completely orange, except around the eyes where it's white.
Baldwin's portrayal resonated because it was not dependent on flawless impersonation. It succeeded because audiences had already observed many of the same behaviors in real life. The expressive hand gestures, the abrupt personal attacks, the mix of confidence and sensitivity, and the tendency for a straightforward answer to drift into a personal grievance, all felt instantly recognizable. That familiarity was what sparked laughter. The audience was not reacting to random exaggeration. They were responding to patterns they believed they had already seen. Kimmel's message was straightforward. When a parody fails to capture its subject, people quickly forget about it. An ineffective impression fades almost immediately. But when the person being impersonated repeatedly criticizes it, complains about it, and keeps bringing it up, their reaction becomes part of the performance itself. According to Kimmel's observation, that was the challenge Trump faced with Alec Baldwin's portrayal. It was not simply that he disliked the impression. His public responses suggested he was frustrated by how many viewers believed the performance reflected recognizable traits. American presidents have long been the subject of political satire. Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama all found themselves at the center of late-night jokes. Comedy aimed at powerful leaders has always been part of American television culture. What appeared different in this case was not the existence of the jokes, it was the response to them. Trump often reacted to comedic sketches as though they represented something more serious than entertainment. Rather than dismissing them as part of the political landscape, he frequently treated them as personal attacks. As a result, each public complaint provided comedians with fresh material. Instead of weakening the satire, the reactions often extended its life. That is what made Kimmel's mirror comparison so effective. Baldwin was not inventing an entirely fictional character. He was amplifying behaviors that many viewers believed they had already witnessed over time. The self-confidence, the recurring grievances, the desire to dominate every conversation, and the tendency to interpret criticism as evidence of unfair treatment all became defining elements of the performance. The impression endured because it reached beyond comedy. It explored how a public persona can become difficult to separate from reality when the individual being portrayed continually responds in ways that reinforce the image. Trump, Kimmel, and Baldwin all built successful careers in television. Each understood the importance of timing, presentation, audience engagement, and camera presence. Yet Kimmel suggested there was an important distinction. He and Baldwin approached performance as something that could be observed, analyzed, and even questioned. Trump, by contrast, often appeared to treat the performance itself as an extension of reality. That difference gave the satire greater impact. A joke usually disappears when audiences fail to connect with it. But when millions immediately recognize the behavior being exaggerated, the comedy becomes something larger than entertainment. It begins to serve as a commentary on a recurring public pattern. Ironically, every time Trump publicly criticized Baldwin's portrayal, the impression seemed to gain additional credibility. Attempts to portray the performance as unfair often encouraged more people to revisit it. Complaints directed at Kimmel likewise reinforced the cycle he was describing. Kimmel illustrated that pattern clearly. Trump performs in public, comedians reflect those performances through satire, Trump responds with visible frustration, and those responses make the satire appear even more convincing. Many older viewers immediately understood that dynamic because they had witnessed decades of political comedy. They had seen presidents from both parties become the targets of jokes without turning every sketch into an extended public dispute. Traditionally, the presidency was viewed as an institution larger than any single comedy routine. The office was expected to outlast the punchline. In Trump's case, however, the joke itself often evolved into an ongoing confrontation. According to Kimmel's argument, that revealed something significant. Political authority rarely appears stronger when it struggles to laugh at criticism. Instead, persistent reactions can create the impression of defensiveness, suggesting that the satire touched on something audiences recognized. That helps explain why Baldwin's portrayal remained part of the cultural conversation for so long. Every public objection added another chapter. Every criticism gave the performance renewed attention. Every effort to dismiss the impression encouraged new viewers to watch it for themselves. In many ways, the simplest way to weaken a parody is to stop reinforcing the behavior that inspired it. Kimmel argued that Trump often did the opposite. His continued reactions supplied comedians with fresh timing, fresh material, and fresh examples that seemed to echo the original performance. Ultimately, Kimmel's segment was not simply a defense of Alec Baldwin's impression. It was an explanation of why the portrayal continued to resonate with audiences. The sketch was memorable, not because viewers believed it invented something false, but because so many felt they recognized the reflection staring back at them.